Hey guys, welcome to Mind Time. Wanted to take this chance to talk to you about the 3080 RTX build. Uh, it's done, it's built. You can go and watch the time-lapse video if you want of that. And I've done a lot of tweaking and playing with it, and I've kind of settled in on where I'm okay with. So anyways, let's get right to it. I ended up trying several different OSs, trying to figure out what I liked best. Some of them were having issues, and I suspect it's because there's so many GPUs in that rig. When you start getting above 6 GPUs, a lot of different softwares or OSs have issues. Anyways, so we ended up using Simple Mining OS, or SMOS as some people call it. And it's really easy to install. You put it on a flash drive, you stick it in, and it automatically connects. There's really not a lot of configuring to do at all, which is great. So, anyways, as we take a look at the stats here, we can see that this rig has a hash rate currently of 1.17 gigahashes, and its max temperature is 65 degrees Celsius, and it's drawing a little under 3,000 watts. So let's take a closer look at that. We can see each card and what it's doing, and each of them are varying some. Some of them are a little warmer than others, and part of that is due to us using different cards. Also, we're in an encased case where airflow is an issue. It's not an open environment, so heat control is another thing. I might be able to overclock these a little more and control heat even more if I up the fan speed, but I don't really want to because the fans are really loud when they're that high. I could also overclock some, but it would reduce stability and might cause some restarts and crashes. And so, although you can get more out of these cards, I've shown it in other videos, I'm very comfortable with where it is right now to avoid crashes, to reduce power consumption, and reduce noise. This is my good balance for me. So you can see over the last 24 hours, it's been around 1.7 gigahashes, couple little bumps, 1.8. I think there's some before where we were at 1.2 or 2. And let's see here. It's been pretty stable. You can see the uptime is for over 1 day and 10 hours right now, which is probably since the last time I was screwing with the system. So I just wanted to get you guys at least 24 hours of seeing it run. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then let's see here. The charting in this software is pretty cool. I'm trying to remember. This is my first time using this. Right here. So we can see the charts of every single GPU, you know, the temp, the fan speed, the hash rate, watts, etc. for each individual GPU over a time frame, which is really cool. The other thing, small thing but interesting, is this button here. It's called Find GPU, and let's say this GPU wasn't running so well, so I could hit this button, go over to my rig, and it'll stop mining and then pause the fans on every GPU except for that one. So then if you want to identify which GPU that is, you just look for the one with the fan spinning, which is kind of cool. This button down here, if you have multiple rigs, if you hit this, it'll make a noise on that rig, assuming there's a speaker connected. So then you can identify which rig it is if you have a bunch of them. There's a lot of really cool things in this software. It's my first time playing with it. But anyways, yeah, so we're at about 1.17 hash and 65 degrees max and under 3,000 watts, which is pretty cool. By the way, we're using T-Rex. For our overclocks, let's go and look at that. What I'm running in Simple Miner is negative 200 on the core, plus 1500 on the memory, and we're limiting the wattage to 240 watts. I also have the fan speeds on 100% of the time. Cool. So let's go over. I'm using ETH for the pool, and so you can see here's the graphs through ETH for this rig. And the average is 1.1 gigahash, sometimes 1.2. A few stale shares, no invalid shares though. And right now producing 0.087 ETH per day, which is roughly $106 per day in current markets, which have been fluctuating a lot. So tomorrow that could be much more or much less. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then, so with this at $106 per day, what were we? We were under 3,000 watts and 1.17 gigahash. So let's go back to what to mine. We'll do 1170, and we'll do 3,000 watts, even though it was a little less than that. And let's do the math. And that puts us at $102 profit per day, with about $7 in electricity, $109 in revenue. That's pretty cool. So that was a quick follow-up on how the RTX 13 GPU rig was going and where we ended up. And then, let me hit on it because some other people were asking is, how am I powering this, circuits, etc. So there are 3 power supplies, each of them 1600 watts. On a 20 amp, 110 volt circuit, I can plug in 2 of those as long as I'm not using 100% of that power through the GPUs. So for this, I have 2 power supplies plugged into a 20 amp circuit, and then the third one plugged into another circuit. If you put all 3 on the one, you'll trip that breaker. Now that's for a 20 amp. If you have a 15, it might be a little bit of a different situation. Yeah. So anyways, I think next time I'm going to play with some different power supplies. I've been looking at some server ones, some 220 volt ones that can do a lot of watts and they're more efficient. But we'll look at that next time on Mine Time. Thanks for joining. Good luck.